What's up, Kellan?
The sky. The bloopers. It's gonna have some decent bloopers, right?
The sky.
The sky.
Wait, no, there's an airplane on top of us, so it's gonna be an airplane.
A few clouds. Oh, there's a
Oh wait,
seagull.
what's beyond that? Oh yeah, space, and then we got like all those freaking stars, and we got like freaking dark matter, which we don't even know how to explain yet, and then we got all those quasars, black holes, stars, planets, galaxies.
It's a mystery.
It's a mystery.
Yeah,
Wow, that was deep.
that was deep.
Okay, restart.
Okay.
This is the final time, Kellan. I'm not doing this again.
Me neither. I'm not doing it again either. Okay, so hi, Ekim.
Hey, Kellan.
What's up?
The sky.
Is it? Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty
Accurate.
skyy.
Yep.
Sky.
So what's going on? You were talking about a video. Some video.
Yeah, Gurratan Singh, Jagmeet Singh's brother, I
Yeah.
think younger brother, posted a video on how you should pronounce, Asian names the way they were supposed to be pronounced originally. And, we all can agree that I'm in a Western society and I brought my culture from India, my origin, into the Western culture, right? And my name is Ekamprit Singh, but people here call it Ekam or Akam or Ecom, right? And, what he's trying to say is that we should pronounce our names the way that we're supposed to be pronounced. But certain people don't find that comfortable because they can't pronounce it. They have hard times. So that's why we've kind of adapted to this society rather than trying to change it. And I think that's very important. We can't just change society all the time. We got to accept it for the way it is.
Yeah, I mean, if you're proud of your name and you wanna preserve it, then you can keep it, and it can be your official name. But if it's difficult for some people to pronounce because their tongues weren't trained to move in that particular way in the culture that they grew up in,
Exactly.
then, I mean, why force it on them?
Exactly.
Why not give them an easier version that they
Yeah.
can say?
I mean, yeah, you're right. Names do have a very historical, strong meaning.
Yeah.
Especially mine. My name means Ekamprit, and that means love with one true God, love with the one true Lord. And when somebody I guess says it differently, it's kind of obscuring the meaning, right? And I get where people are coming from, but for me particularly, if somebody says my name wrong, I mean, it's just a name, like, right? If you got to live up to that name.
Names evolve.
Yeah, they do.
They evolve probably because they come to new cultures where people can't say Ekamprit comfortably.
Yeah.
So Ekamprit becomes Ekam, and it has the same meaning, the same one.
Yeah.
But it's just said in a different way, and that doesn't mean that the word Ekam, that your name isn't Ekamprit, that Ekamprit loses its meaning. It's just that it evolves and takes on a new form in
Yeah.
a new place.
Exactly. And your name is Kellan. What does that mean?
Guardian of the gate.
Guardian of the gate.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So what gate do you guard?
Oh, that's a difficult question.
Nowadays we have security cameras, so your name has evolved.
Yeah. Yeah. And
You're
a
like
security guard is
you're
a
like
pretty, a
contemplating.
security guard is a pretty low position in our society, right? If you guard the gate of the construction site or in the night shift,
Yeah.
you're not really.
You know what's funny? You're contemplating whether or not. It's hilarious.
No,
to-
because I've had deep thoughts about deep potential meanings
Yeah.
of being a guardian of the gate.
So what could they be?
Here we go.
Yes, we do.
We're
Yeah,
going in.
We gotta go.
Okay, so
We gotta know the history.
a Buddhist meditator.
Oh, this is very deep.
It is a Buddhist meditator who is attempting to bring his mind to a state of stillness needs to guard the gates or the entrance doors of the senses, because when a sense object meets the sense base or the sense organ, say eye and sights, sound, and the ear, etc. When they meet, feeling arises, and that feeling can be either pleasant or painful. Now, when a pleasant feeling arises, desire might arise along with it, the desire to maintain and increase that pleasant feeling. Or if a painful feeling arises, desire might arise, the desire to get rid of that sensation.
Exactly.
Right? So,
And Sikhism has a very similar thing to that. I'll talk about that, but continue.
the guardian is a metaphor for that alertness, that vigilance of mind that is there watching the door of the senses, and preventing desire from arising. The desire for a pleasant feeling, or the desire to get rid of an unpleasant feeling. So that desire is what you're trying to not let, because that compels the mind towards movement, right? Desire compels the mind to move towards the thing, and pain moves the mind away from something, or towards it to destroy it. Whatever. That's the difference between anger and fear, right? Fear runs away. Anger tries to destroy.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
In Sikhism, we have 10 doors.
Yeah.
No dware pragat ke daswa guptar khaya, right?
Right.
9 doors that we already have unlocked right now. Do you know the 9 doors?
Is it your eyes, ears, nose, mouth, asshole, penis, and
yes.
and
Ears.
ears? Did I not say ears?
Yes, nostrils.
Okay. Right.
So 9 doors, but the 10th door is locked.
Yeah.
And that 10th door is essentially guarded.
Right here, right?
Yeah, right here.
Yeah.
We call it the third eye.
Yeah.
And it's guarded, and that's when we have the ability to access the world, the Lord. It's undescribable because it's so real. Have you ever watched the movie Lucy?
No, but I smoked DMT once.
Yes, he talked to me about that. I think it's much more different.
I don't think so.
I think it is.
I think it blows your third eye open and blasts you through the universe of consciousness.
Well, I don't know. I can't really speak on that because I don't do drugs.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Let's end it on that.
All right.
Yeah. So, what other worldly topics do we want to talk about? Let's talk. I was thinking like space or something. Space exploration. We already talked about that.
Yeah, I was just talking to my wife. She asked me, she's like, and she's asked me this before, probably a couple times.
Yes.
But she's like, what did she ask me?
That's freaking B.
Yeah. So she asked me if something was bigger than something, and I think it was like, is the sun bigger than the stars? And I said, well, the sun is a star. So it's the same size. It's just closer because it's our star. We revolve around the sun. And then all the other stars are just like the sun, but they're very far away.
Some are actually larger.
And she said, that's amazing. Yeah, some of them are larger, some of them are smaller.
Yeah, like if you see our sun versus the other stars in the galaxy or the universe,
yeah,
ours is goddamn nothing.
Yeah. Like
there are stars that are bigger than our entire probably freaking...
No, I think it's about 4 times. 4 or 10 or 11 times the size of the sun, and then it reaches a critical solar mass, and then it collapses in on itself and either becomes something called a red dwarf or whatever, or a dwarf star or a black hole, or it continues to compress so much that it just, yeah.
It's crazy. So then space has a limit.
Yeah, it's got a maximum size before collapse
That's
occurs.
so oxymoronic.
Why?
Space has a limit.
It has a limit for mass before that mass. Yeah.
That's
collapses.
an oxymoron.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
This is so awkward.
Yeah, space, Whatever. It's just space.
So what do you want to talk about, Kellan?
I wanted to make an amendment to something that I said last time. I said, and I wanna make a point. I wanna make a point that they're trying to radicalize us, man.
What?
They're trying to radicalize us. They're trying to make us angry.
Who?
The media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The media, the men behind the curtain. They're trying to make us angry. The people that
Yeah.
invest in money in this shit. So, and it's working. So if you look at my last podcast.
So then what's to say that this podcast will ever even make it?
What do you mean?
Like we're not the radical left.
What do you mean we'll ever really make
It's going to be very hard for us to make it on the platform, dude.
You mean like
Because
become popular?
Yeah, because the mainstream media is all left.
Yeah, but
And if we're right,
the masses of people, we're not right.
Wait,
you're
yeah,
a little bit right. You're a little bit right.
Yeah.
You're a little bit conservative. I was just fucking with you. But no, because our point of view, like
you know
I
what?
said,
I am conservative, but I'm very liberal at the same time.
yeah. So I
Like,
call
I
you
want
a centrist, and I'm a
policies that-
centrist too.
Yeah, I'm a centrist.
Yeah, you understand the importance of the left and the right. You want the whole system to balance and
Exactly, because
continue
dude, we
to
need
exist.
we need policies. Like we need policies, right? We
Yeah.
need public reform, and we need all that. Like it's not gonna work without it. Like just in our normal community here, our normal, we have changed. We have invested so much in everything, like on all forms. Our local MP, Sukhthaliwal, he's helped put in a lot of money into this community.
Yeah.
Back into this community. And you can already see that our freaking Surrey is goddamn crazy, right? All the freaking, real estate, all that shit. And this just happened in the span of 4 or 5 years. Like before that, you could buy a house easily for 500 grand or 800. Now it's 1.3 or 1.2. And why did that happen? Because of boom. Essentially a boom happened. That's what I consider it, because in Prince Rupert a boom also happened when LNG and all that stuff became kind of introduced. But what I'm saying is everything changed after a certain point in time, and that was because policies and all this investing directly into the community started happening. And not only that, Surrey became very popular for its diversity in Indians and everything, multicultural, very multicultural. Not as multicultural as I would hope, but it's outweighing, I guess. I liked Rupert better.
Did you?
Yes.
Why is that?
Oh man, Rupert was my go-to thing. Like, I just had
Why
a
was
routine.
it better than Surrey?
Why was
I'm
it?
not doubting you.
Yeah, no.
But
yeah,
why
I know.
was
I
it
know
better?
you agree with me because
Yeah.
you were talking about it too. But Prince Rupert's an island, and it's closed off from the urban city, very very far, 1,600 kilometers away actually.
Yeah.
And everything was so close knit. Our community was all well known, mostly First Nations people, about 50 or so Punjabis, Indians, and a couple other people, and then a couple other people, right? So it was mixed, it was multicultural, and we all had these events. One of them was Seafest. Seafest allowed every single type of person to come together and make a float, and every year, once a day, every year on a specific day in June, we would have a float, a parade float, and we would circle it all around town. And not to brag, but we Indians came first place every year in the dancing competition.
In the dancing.
Yes,
You guys were
our
the best
Bhangra-
dancers.
Yes, Bhangra
Well,
is really good.
White people are not so much known for their dancing.
Well, yes, true.
Yeah.
It's mostly those Asian.
Yeah. If
Asian
you're a good
person.
dancer and you're white, you end up famous, like Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, what the hell is wrong with that? What's
Just decided he wanted to learn how to dance, join the Mickey Mouse Club. The rest is history.
I still feel like there's no meaning in it. I don't feel like there's a meaning.
In Justin Timberlake?
No, in the white dancing.
I got a video of me dancing from the other night.
Oh, really? Can I
yeah,
see that?
because Chilenos dance. My wife's Chilean, so she dances. Yeah, you can watch it, but watch it later. I don't want to show it on air.
Yeah, like if you watch any movie or video, like the people dancing in it, it just becomes sexual.
Yeah. Well, Chileans dance sexually. It's
Yeah, but
completely natural
like
for
Indian
them to
Indian
dance
dance
sexually.
isn't that well oriented, or I guess points towards
Towards
sexual
sex, right?
sex. Yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, I
So
would.
it's less natural.
Well, it's not natural. Natural. I would say it's more meaningful than sex, because sex is not the entire
Thing
thing.
about life.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah,
Tell that to Sigmund Freud.
tell that to the world.
Sigmund Freud was a genius psychologist, and he said it all comes down to sex.
Well, it does, because you're so freaking attached to the material world.
Humans are,
Yes,
generally.
but I know people who aren't attached.
No, I know.
So yeah,
There's a line in one of my favorite movies, and I get it, man. Like there's this beautiful things about spirituality that leads away from sensuality.
yeah.
So there's a line in a
If you-
movie, and it was an old man and saw young people dancing and said, "Oh, how beautiful! They're trying to shake off their genitals and become angels."
You know, when we talk about dancing, I think it kind of originated from the First Nations a little bit.
Dancing?
Yeah. I don't know if that's true, but First Nations, you know how they dance around fires.
Yeah.
You know, they were
Like
the first.
natives would dance around fires.
Exactly, natives. And I think that kind of got inherited, and the British kind of took that away from them when they were trying to isolate them, right? So maybe that could have been a thing.
Well, I mean, at one point in history, we were all natives. We were all hunter gatherers.
Of course we were.
So I wonder what our dances were like then. You know, Probably
they've
had-
definitely changed, it's pretty
mating dances.
drastically.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you
Birth
can
dances.
see. Yeah, just search up dancing right now. It'll be sexual. I'll tell you right now.
Well, yeah. For the most part,
It's pretty fucked up.
it's pretty fucked up. So you guys got a better dance that's not sexual.
Oh yes, it's not sexual at all.
What's
Maybe
What's the point of it then?
Well, no, it shows meaning. It shows. Well, I can't believe I'm saying this right now, but I guess it does come down to marrying a woman, and yeah. Fuck.
So it's about dance. Indian dancing's about getting married.
No, it's not. Like, even if you look at a movie, right? Like the dance has a lot of meaning to it, but I would say it still points towards, sex.
Mating.
Yes, mating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a mating dance.
It's a mating dance.
Maybe Freud was right. Maybe. Nah. No.
I would say he's right to 99 point. No. I would say he's right to about 97%.
Yeah, 97. And then the other 3 is like that rare thing that people do when they what? Get liberated?
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe 1% or
Maybe 2.
0.5, 0.2.
2.25. If you want to be really specific, I'm gonna say 2.25367.
But I don't think so though, because that means that 2.5 out of every 100 people are not sexual.
Yeah, that's wrong.
Yeah.
It's like
It's
0.2.
more like 1 in a million.
It's like 0.2%.
Well, that means that 2 out of every 1,000 people are not sexual.
Okay, that's wrong too. Then 0.1.
1 out of 1,000. Maybe, yeah. 1 out of 1,000 Sikhs are not sexual people.
Fuck you.
Okay.
Well, you can't just. Yeah, fuck you, asshole.
Sorry to get logical on you.
No. Yeah. If we think about it, yes, because then they wouldn't be real Sikhs, right? It would be the fakers.
Really? So Sikhism is about becoming non-sexual?
Well, no, it's sexual detachment. Yeah.
Okay. And yeah.
That's why we have the whole idea of marriage. Like, you'll see the divorce rate in, Asian people is way less than the Western people.
Yeah.
Like, that's a fact.
Yeah, well, the West has lost its religion.
Yeah,
over a couple of generations.
of course. And now they're freaking making apparel saying true religion.
Yeah, which is weird. So that's the true religion, is your expensive jeans?
Exactly, right? It's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah.
I can't believe I just brought that up.
That's a good point, though. I thought about that.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
And they have like a Buddhist monk on the back. Like,
Yeah.
you're what you're doing is you're advertising religion and you're making it a business. It's not good. You can't do that because then the value is gone, right?
Yeah, but you can't blame people. You know.
Yeah, everyone has to put food on the table at the end of the day.
That's right. Buddhist monks. Buddhist monks are the best at like not taking money for
Wow,
this.
that guy's a great parker, hey?
Yeah, well, he's got a big vehicle.
Yeah, but like, look at the freaking space in front of his car.
It's
Oh.
like a foot and a half.
Oh, never mind.
2
never mind.
feet, maybe.
The guy's coming. Oh, never mind.
Oh, he's
I take
actually.
it back.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you were wrong. And we're done.
Don't judge people.
Yeah.
Moral of the story.
Moral of the story. As I was saying, Buddhist monks, they're the best that I've seen at being spiritual and just shunning the whole material gain, the whole making money aspect. They're
Yeah,
the
they
only
are
people
very
I
good.
know that absolutely refuse to handle money. Maybe like the Jains or something in India too, but the Buddhists, they don't handle money. The Buddhist monks don't handle money. They're not allowed to. There's a million rules where they can't accept anything that's for like material gain. They're only allowed to accept it just to maintain their life, just to keep their body protected from the elements. And
You know what? That's a really great way of living, to
Yeah.
be honest. Like, it's pretty good.
yeah,
It's a really great way of living. To be honest, like, Sikhs, they have material, obviously. But I guess it's important, too. You can't just completely, like, we have a life here. We do. But then don't make that the central point. Have a purpose, have a meaning. But that purpose can't just be the material. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could be a billionaire, There are many billionaires in this world who are detached. Like, I know that. For example, like 300 years ago, Guru Gobind Singh Ji, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, our ninth Guru, they were rich as hell. So rich. But they weren't attached with the money. Like, they gave their money away. They had langars, they had, free food stalls and all, and they served the poor. So, as long as you're using your money towards goods, like if I won a $70 million lottery, I would donate like 10% of that and probably keep donating, right? It's a good thing. So, as long as you're putting your money towards good use, I think it's okay. Yeah.
yeah, and probably you'd rather be rich than poor, right?
Exactly.
Right.
Yes.
Being poor would suck.
I mean, it depends on what you define poor as. What do you define poor as?
Your only food is barely digestible sticky rice variety.
Shut
that
the
you
hell
grow,
up.
And every once in a while you get a frog to boil and put in it, or like
That is not poor.
insects.
That's just idiotic. And
no,
because look, why? You tell me why do you have to? If you're getting food, why do you have to eat garbage food?
well, what I'm saying
Like,
is that's all you
we
have.
have the best foods in all of the world in Canada,
Yeah.
and we have all of different sorts and varieties of cuisine. But if
Okay,
if we're religious and we're spiritual, what's wrong with not having good food and a good lifestyle?
Just saying, there are poor people, and that's a poor person, and they do
but
exist.
you have to keep your outside body clean to have your inside body clean. You know that? Like, to start meditation, you have to be clean on the outside as well. Because if you're dirty as shit, this psychologically, you wouldn't feel like you're in the mood to practice religion. I could be sitting in like a shit, like freaking like camp or some shit, and I wouldn't feel like meditating there because it's not a meditating place. That's why we have temples, because they're clean places where we can sit down and go meditate. Like, you can go to any temple and it'll be very clean. Cleanliness is very important.
It's true that it does have an effect on the mind and the way that you feel. But if you are detached, if you are equanimous, you know, with your with the outer circumstances, the outer situation, then even if your body is dirty and you're in a, you know, in a graveyard with open graves and rotting, stinking corpses in this, you know, you know, filling your nose, and you're just sitting there meditating. You haven't had a shower in a week. You're wearing a robe that you sewed from rags that you pulled off of a corpse, um, and you've eaten, you know, really bad, like indigestible rice and boiled frogs every day for the last 5 years.
That's true if you are already detached. I'm talking about the
No,
people
no,
who
this
are.
is a practice to help people become detached.
That would just want me to. That would just make me kill myself, to be honest.
But
Like,
no,
ew,
because they're
that's
inspired.
actually gross.
They're inspired
That is
about
gross.
reaching true liberation. So they're inspired. They're not
True
depressed. They don't want to
liberation
kill
isn't
themselves.
true liberation isn't treating yourself horribly. True liberation is detaching your mind.
But
and
why is that?
No, because you know what? When you have a thought of I want to live my life in the poorest way, you're still attached.
Exactly. But they're not. What if they don't have that
Because it's
thought?
a thought. It's a thought.
What if they don't have that thought?
Well, then it's way different.
Well, that's
because
what I'm saying.
if they don't have that thought, that poor lifestyle could be a rich lifestyle for them.
But it's not, and it's not even that too. It's like poor. Yeah, they haven't had a shower, but it's like they. Their argument would be, well, actually, it makes a little bit of difference the way you feel, but it doesn't. It doesn't make a difference very much to your ability to have a peaceful state of mind. So.
I would disagree.
The point is that, like, yeah, that your bodily state doesn't affect your state of mind as much as people might think, and that's one of the things that, like, yeah, that Buddhist monks definitely try and point out.
Yeah, no, but like, if you look at the lifestyles of our gurus, they were very simple, right? But every Gorsik there was provided with, you know, toiletries, provided with a bed, provided with all the necessities, and they weren't left out because, you know, our gurus did have money. They were very rich. They were the kings, you know, and kings of kings actually. But one thing that they didn't lack was money, and they for sure knew how to use it wisely as well. For obviously food. Food was a necessity. You can't feed someone proper. You can't feed someone improper food. You know, because that would mess up their digestion, and your bodies need the proper nutrients to function. So.
Yeah,
just
sometimes
just not given. Just eating a frog and some rice would be like.
It's protein
only,
and carbohydrates.
It's like only like lifting weights on one arm and then having the other arm weak, and then.
Well, they might have a few not vegetables, but leaves, you know, some boiled leaves from the trees. Well, because they're poor people, right? And so Buddhist monks, they will take whatever they're given.
Well, yeah.
Take whatever they're given and just eat it just to maintain their body, and they don't need to eat very much. They just
Guru Nanak Dev Ji, they're called sadhus.
Yeah.
The sadhus. Guru Nanak Dev Ji was given 20 rupees by their father to go do some business, and 20 rupees at the time was like what, like 100 grand in today's day. So Guru Nanak Dev Ji, first guru who said the word ik meaning one, used that 20 rupees and bought some food and actually gave it to the sadhus. So they gave that food to the sadhus and they fed them. When they came home, their father slapped Guru Nanak Dev Ji right across the face. And I was surprised when I heard this, because to me Guru Nanak Dev Ji is the true Lord, and they are the true Lord. They're, you know, descendant from the true Lord, and they came into this world and they got slapped. They did not deserve that. But yeah, it was a teaching moment for us humans, and still we're so ignorant. Like, you know, we're still so ignorant when true descendants came to this world and they got hurt because of us. So yeah, and yeah, they gave food to the sadhus, and the sadhus ate it, and it was good food. It wasn't just like freaking shit. So that what I'm saying is that we need our nutrients and we need our food. Like if you go to the gurdwara, you'll see that there's a variety of food, but it's kept simple. It's not like a buffet platter or some shit. We have two subjis, we have rice and we have roti. That's it, which is, you know what roti is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I ate it today.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How was it?
It was good.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have a simple diet, and we're all vegetarian, obviously. But yeah, I'm just saying that we need the food. You can't go without the food. Like,
yeah, I've been to Thai villages.
Yes, you've told me.
Where rice is their staple, because that's what they're growing. They all have their rice paddies and their water buffalo, and they grow rice. Maybe some of them grow peanuts, but yeah, they don't get a lot of food. They might have an animal or maybe some chickens, whatever, in the village. And yeah, they've just got very simple food, but it's protein and carbohydrates. And yeah, they got vegetables. They got Thailand vegetables. It's simple. It's simple food, but I think it probably meets the nutritional. But it's poor. They're not. Yeah, they're not eating fancy food.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but we're not eating fancy food either.
I do.
No, I mean, yeah, you do, right? So how do you feel about that?
Fine.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
you gotta feel fine to meditate.
Well.
And like our guru said, "Pehla pangat phir sangat," right?
Yeah.
So fill your materialistic needs, not your things I want, right? But
Right.
whatever, things that you have to use, I guess, in the material world to kind of function. So yeah, then you do the sangat, which is the true Lord's praising.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, monks, they usually have their material needs provided for it, but there are some practices that they do to help weaken attachment that they can do. And one of them is to wear rag robes. So just only wear robes that people throw away. And you sew them and you wear them. You can wash them, but you wear those. And there's lots of stuff. Like there's the practice where you don't sleep lying down. You only sleep sitting up. Maybe you prop yourself against the wall, but
you can't sit up.
Yeah, if you prop yourself up against the wall.
What is that? That's another oxymoron.
Yeah, people can sleep in a standing position if they have to, but
against a wall.
Whatever.
That's what a horse does.
Yeah, horses sleep standing up. What else is there? Sitter's practice.
I also disagree with that, by the way.
Only eating one meal a day.
I think that's very wrong. We as humans have we're given the ability to sleep on beds. So why not use that?
Not sleeping on a bed.
On the ground.
Monks have traditionally always slept on the ground.
Yeah, exactly.
And they still do today in Thailand.
Yeah, well, I used to sleep on the ground. Yeah. Yeah, it's actually really good. It's really good for your back. Very natural as well.
Yeah.
Much better than a bed.
I slept on the ground when I was in Thailand.
How'd you like it? It was probably really good, right? You probably liked it.
Yeah, like we had bamboo mats, and because I was a weak Westerner, I would stack up a couple of them, and then it would help relieve those pressure points, like your hips and stuff that dig into the ground.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, I still like it till this day. Sleeping on the ground is really good. In fact, we eat on the ground, and eating on the ground, it represents a connection with the earth and you, because the earth is the one that provided you with the food, right?
Yeah.
So it has some very weird connection, but you should try it. It feels good. It feels good. But only in a clean place. You can't sit in an ugly place. And
the reason why they go and sit in graveyards with open graves, charnel grounds they were called, where corpses are just tossed into a pit to decompose, is to contemplate death. Come to terms with it, accept it. So they would watch a corpse decay from the initial stage until full decomposition, until birds are tearing it apart and taking the bones away.
You know, before we even came into this world, we made a promise. We will die first. Pehla maran kabul jivan ki chadiyas. It's a Bonnie line, and it means we prepare for the, don't know the actual name, but Pehla maran kabul. We accept death first, right, and then we come into the jivan, which is the life form of a human.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been done. Accepting death. If you can accept death, then you can accept pretty much everything, right? Because death is the ultimate fear, right? Like, we should ask that. We should take this setup and I'll hold the camera and you can be the interviewer. We give this mic to someone, and it'll be funny because I want to hear their answers.
About what?
We'll just be like, "Hey, do you believe in God?" And then we'll be like, "We'll prove them wrong," or something like that. Interview questions or something.
Well, what would the questions be?
I don't know. We could just make them up on the spot. Like, there's pretty good, like, pretty dumb dumbasses here, so we could just be like, "Yo, what's 5 plus 5?" And they'll be like, "Holy shit, 11." Something. I don't know. But something like that. I don't know. That was just kind of made up. I honestly want to talk to people about, what's their kind of perspective on.
When I was at Langara College, I
Religion.
did a statistics project where I surveyed people at the college. We talked to over 200 people. I can't remember the
Wow.
total. But we talked to them, and it turned out 53% of them believed in life after death.
Wow.
Yeah, 53%.
That's good.
Yeah. 53. And then some
At least there isn't toxic wokeness.
some 25 or so.
I mean, toxic non-wokeness.
20
They're woke.
yeah, I think it was 25% said, like, I just don't know. And then, like, 13% I don't want to answer, prefer not to say. And then another 12
People who say that are atheists.
another 12% were atheist.
Okay, so then I would just say the rest of them were atheists, because people who don't know, they're contemplating.
There's some people who don't want to respond. So, like, if you say prefer not to say, then you're choosing not to respond to.
Yeah,
the
you're
survey,
abstraining
basically.
the answer.
Abstaining.
Yeah. Oh, is it? Yeah,
Abstaining.
abstain.
Yeah.
So you're abstaining, and yeah, you're choosing to.
I don't
leave.
know means I just don't know.
Abstain. Yeah. So I actually did that once in a vote. Not to say that I don't know. I perfectly knew. I just didn't want to be part of a bad thing.
What's a bad thing?
It was a very. It was a vote on a budget.
Okay.
It was like a budget vote, and if it passed, it would have been harmful, and if it was not passed, then that would be harmful too. So fuck. So I just did abstain.
So yeah, about the political thing, right? Like, there's so much going on.
Yep. And yet we're just sitting here.
Yeah, well, we're in Canada. It's not breaking out into civil war yet, but in the United States,
because Canada is good at keeping things to themselves. The United States is a very social. They kind of developed socialism, I would say.
What? I think you're misusing the word socialism.
No, I should say social media.
Yeah, they probably did. Facebook's
Socialism.
American.
What's socialism?
Huh?
Socialism.
No. Socialism is communism.
Oh shit! I am misusing it.
Definitely.
Well, how would you say I'm very social?
You'd say I'm very social.
Shut the hell up!
So, they're violent down there. Like, there's Black Lives Matter activists going in and shooting up restaurants.
By
Killing
the
3
way,
people.
I don't agree with you on the Antifa starting the fires. I think that's just a hoax. I don't think they have the audacity to.
Well, first of all, yeah, and that's what I was trying to retract, was that statement, because I didn't ever meant that statement. In fact, even later in that podcast, I kind of took it back. I kind of said, well, the reason I said that is because Tim Pool said that I even said that he was an Antifa member and was arrested, but it turns out like what it seems was that he's a leftist activist, which doesn't necessarily mean Antifa even, but he's a
and
leftist.
it wasn't even
and an
only
activist.
that.
And and it might not have been political. That's what Tim Pool was saying. Like, if you're just making these statements that are exaggeration, like I was definitely exaggerating, and I was doing it in a way that was joking, but it was also out of anger. And the way it comes across is you hear that and you go, oh really, I didn't know that, and then that's what you believe. You believe Antifa is starting all of the wildfires, because that's what I said. It's like, oh yeah, they're starting all of them, right? That's not true though. We know that one guy was a leftist. He at some point was an activist, and we don't know if it had any political meaning or not, or if he's just always been a pyromaniac and wanted to light a fire.
Yeah, no, definitely. But
Two
one
people
of the reasons why the fires ignited was, first of all, there was a gender reveal a couple days ago in California, and they had this.
I heard that. I heard that on the radio.
Pyrotechnic device
Yeah.
that kind of releases or fuses smoke, the color of the gender, right? Red as in, or pink as in a girl, blue as in a boy, simple, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know what the gender was because they never mentioned that in the freaking news story, but it started a goddamn fire and it
Well,
burnt
of course,
goddamn 30
of course, you didn't hear that
acres.
two leftists were arrested for arson of starting wildfires. Of course, you didn't hear that, because that might be construed as something political and against the left, which the media will not tell you.
Yeah.
But that is the case. Two leftists were arrested starting wildfires.
Well,
that's a fact.
They didn't start it on
At least one of them was an
purpose.
activist, according to Tim Pool, who I trust.
It was started because it was an accident.
No,
and the device.
no, what? No, it was arson. Two people were arrested intentionally starting fires, and they were leftists.
Yeah, I'm talking about the gender reveal.
Well, I know, but that's because what I'm saying is, who cares if a gender reveal did? What's interesting, or like what's relevant to our conversation about whether or not radical left people are intentionally starting forest fires, is the fact that two leftists started fires and were arrested for it. But you don't hear about that on the news. You don't hear about that because they hide that shit.
Yeah, I don't know. I would have to look into that, but that's very sad.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why, but if it were me burning down a forest because I'm mad about something that is not being done in society, I would not burn down a forest.
But
first of all,
also, that's an assumption.
That's stupidity. That's burning down your country.
Yeah. Well, what I'm trying to point out too is that that's an assumption, because we don't know. Like Tim Pool, just did some digging. He did as much digging as he could, and he found out that one leftist activist and another leftist are were arrested for starting fires.
That could be just one story. Honestly, we don't even know if that was like a continuous thing or anything.
No.
Like
It was one incident of people starting fires that were arrested for it. People who started wildfires.
Yeah, imagine if it wasn't leftist and it was like a Trump guy.
Two incidents.
Yeah, well then, if it was a Trump fan, they would right away post it on social media. We would hear it the next hour or so.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's absolutely horrible. Honestly,
we don't know.
Burning down your own country, even if you're a leftist or a rightist.
But we don't know if that's what happened, and
but
that's what I want to.
It doesn't matter. People are still rioting, right? People still broke into shops. We can't deny that fact. It all happened.
They caused, by one estimate, $2 billion worth of damage.
Exactly.
But
you guys are paying that.
That $2 billion is according to another source only what insurance will cover. That doesn't mean that it's only $2 billion worth of damage. There's other damage that isn't covered by insurance.
Exactly. So you're burning down your own country, and look at the cost. Look at the damage.
Yeah.
And look at the cost to fix that. It's horrible. Honestly, I can't even understand how people can even condone or even think to do that.
Yeah, well, it's an age-old thing. Like these people are actually obviously destroying things instead of actually building useful things. They don't know how to build anything. They don't know how to do anything useful.
Yeah.
Right? Like they are actually destroying all of the progress made towards ending racism. Like, we're there. We got there. We did it, you know? And it took
1960 civil rights movement.
1968, the civil rights
Oh,
movement
68?
ended.
Oh,
It
okay.
ended in 68. And,
68?
ever since then, progressive people have been working very, very hard through the creation of art like Sesame Street and many other shows and movies and everything else, and by being good liberal progressive people and hiring, people from different races, and like there was, a certain amount of what do you call it? I wish I knew this stuff better.
Yeah,
But-
and what's happened is
Yeah.
the leftists, actually there was no leftists, what's happened is specific people did not feel comfortable, I guess, with the way something was showcased or anything, and what they did was they created the term racism again, right? And they created the term black versus white, and they created the term that's a racial comment, or all these things. They all became created after the movement ended.
Yeah, the term I was looking for was affirmative action. That's where they required you to hire some black people or people of different races to have diversity. There was a requirement of that. And to a certain extent, that was probably helpful. But at a certain point, you have to wonder if that's a little bit racist, if you want to just like, assume people's attitudes are good enough to not discriminate against people based on their all that. And so, and like I said, the art, right? Like Sesame Street, you got a white woman with a half Chinese baby or something, and then there's lots of black people in the show and people from different races. So that's the way that you get people to get over, their discriminatory, prejudiced attitudes. Is by normalizing not treating anybody differently based on the color of their skin, and instead, so desensitizing people to the color of people's skin.
Exactly, that's what I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And we
so-
did that. We did that for the last 40 years.
Yeah, but the
And
critical theorists.
since the end of the civil rights movement, where Martin Luther King,
The critical theorists.
Yeah. Oh.
They have.
Yeah. I think it was James Lindsay had a funny thing. No, it was Douglas Murray, and he was talking about how it was. St. George syndrome or something like that, where
McCarthyism.
no, he slayed a dragon. He slayed a dragon, right? But and so that was his glory, and he was the hero and got so much praise, and then that was the greatest moment of his life. But then after that, there were no more dragons to slay, right? He slayed all the dragons. He had no more dragons to slay, and then so he would eventually go out into the woods and slay smaller and smaller animals, until finally he could be seen out swinging his sword into thin air. St. George syndrome. I'm butchering this because I don't even know what it is. I don't know who he is, and that's not his name. But but the point is that that's what these critical race theorists are doing. They're out there swinging their swords at thin air because all of the dragons have already been slayed. They wish that they were slaying dragons. They wish they could have been there for the march on the Washington Monument. However many people were there. Martin Luther King, when he gave his I Have a Dream speech.
What
right?
are queer race theorists?
When he gave, they're not queer race theorists, they're queer theorists.
Why can't we just say queer race theorists?
Because we're not talking about gay people from different races. We're just talking about gay people.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not talking about gay black people.
Yeah, I
Or gay
understand.
white people. Okay. So queer theorists, do you actually want to know what they are?
Yes.
They are the people who are blurring boundaries of gender and sex.
So they're blurring it, meaning that, hey, if you're gay, then
It means that they're trying to end the the capitalist empire.
no. But what do they actually mean? Like, what do you mean blurring the?
Okay, so
Boundaries
now
between
everyone is a
gender.
little bit gay.
I don't agree.
Yeah, like everyone's a little bit gay. Everybody's trans. transgender, gender fluid. There's no homosexuality, no heterosexuality. Where everything's just queer. Um, even sex, biological sex, there is a spectrum. There's a spectrum of sex. There's no dividing line in the middle. It's not binary. It's people have varying degrees of hormones and genital formation, and then so they estimate that 10% of people are something called intersex.
What the heck? So that's what they're creating.
Well, what they're creating is the blurring of boundaries. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's all bullshit nonsense. Because in order to have a functioning society, there's order.
Yeah.
There's order. There's structure and order and categories. Right.
Yeah.
When you destroy the categories, you destroy the order. So a descent into chaos is the end of an empire. That's what happens. And so Douglas Murray was pointing out that around the end of empires, people start to get obsessed with gender fluidity and transgenderism, and that's a sign of that the boundaries are blurring and a descent into chaos is occurring.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. I don't think, or I don't want lines to be blurred. I think it's important to have boundaries.
To have order.
Order and boundaries.
Yeah, boundaries. Well, boundaries are part of order.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's horrible. Yeah, you can notice that in today's society a lot.
What?
What gender are you? Prefer not to say.
Yeah.
Other.
Well, that's why.
And the other 72.
That's why
genders.
I'm not so sure that that Canada is not going to fall like a domino after the United States does and descends into civil war.
Why not?
Because the ideology is absolutely taken over here as much as it has in the States. I just think we have less of a culture of violence, and maybe we handled COVID a little bit better with money. Because another thing that causes communist revolutions to occur is poverty. Poverty and drastic economic inequality. That's what causes people for unrest to occur, because people are not happy with their situation. They don't have their needs met, so they want to riot in the streets.
Yeah, I can see that. In terms of economic inequality and poverty in general, it's part of a system, right? So, like, the people who are poor are poor. And the tax system, you talk about Canada and how it's doing better. It is doing much better. But the United States focused more on the economy rather than its citizens. And we noticed that straight off the bat, right as COVID, kind of flew in. You could see how they were more, focused and oriented towards the economy. They wanted a strong economy because, Canada, America is known for its strong base and foundation in its economy.
Well, what I've been hearing,
but Canada is horrible. Like, our economy is way below the United States. Our population is way below the United States. And
what?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? I see Canada's a very strong country with a very strong economy.
I wouldn't say it's as strong as the United States.
The United States is bigger, and there's
exactly,
more wealth there.
There's more wealth there, and there's more population. Our population in Canada is the equivalent to California.
Yeah, it's true.
Which is so sad.
It just means California is extremely overpopulated.
Yeah.
But no, we got a good economy here, man. Like, people are pretty well off here.
People are, but still, poverty up in the north is pretty big.
Yeah, like what on in the native community?
Yes.
Yeah. You saw that up in Prince Rupert.
No, Prince Rupert's a little bit
But
here.
You saw other places.
Oh yeah, other places. They're freaking horrible.
Yeah.
Like, why isn't the government funding them?
I don't know.
Right? Like, why are they being bluntly ignored?
Couldn't say.
I don't know.
Well,
yes.
I can think of one reason. this is a capitalist country, and everyone has the ability to get a job and
Yes.
contribute to the greater society.
Yes.
So that's why. Because why would the government give them money? That would be
Inequality?
no. It would be
Economic inequality?
well. That would be people not being responsible for their own life, right?
I mean, Canada's still paying us $2,000, so
Well, they're paying them too if they're
Yeah.
Canadian citizens.
yeah, but Joe Rogan was talking about this as well. If you come from a poverty-stricken, community or something like that, you are used to its, ways. And if a criminal was born in a very poverty-stricken place, and that was the reason why he's a criminal, then there's no changing that. But the way to change it, there's one way. You fund it. You fund it with education and you change everything.
Okay, well, funding it with education, that just means sending people in there to educate them. So you've got this group of people. If you're the
But you
president
build
of
schools.
Canada
You
now.
build schools and okay.
You're the
all right.
you're the prime minister. You're going to send a bunch of educated people in there to help educate these people. Well, what's the curriculum? What are you going to teach them?
I'm gonna teach them basic freaking shit.
Like what? Math?
Well, not only that, I'm gonna
English?
give them purpose.
You're going
Purpose.
to educate them with purpose.
Yes, I'm gonna educate them with
Because
purpose.
I went through the entire Canadian school system, and I don't remember the purpose class. I don't remember that class.
So you're saying schools not?
Schools reading, writing, and arithmetic.
Yeah.
as
So
far as I
yeah, but
remember.
when we teach children that, it's providing them with purpose because you have to do your homework. You
Skills.
have to do
Skills to
skills to work. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you
Yeah.
get the skills to work, and then they will have the ability to work.
So you think what they need up there in these impoverished communities is better teachers? What if
No, not better teachers. A system. A
What if they
system
were
that
encouraged-
provides them with education because they're not getting
what if
education
if,
right now?
if it's a poor town, like if it's a dead town, why don't they leave it?
It's
Why
not
don't
as
they
simple.
why
It's
don't they
not as
move to
simple.
a city where there's an
It's
economy?
not as simple because they're not educated. And I can really recall this because I lived in Rupert and people are there. I know a couple. They're there for 90 years, and they said they don't even know of places like freaking Winnipeg or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't know that because they're not technology. They don't have technology. They don't have shit like that.
Yeah.
It's all isolated, and that's what's scary is because people don't even know. People don't know.
Didn't you say before that everyone has the ability to well, you said you need education. You need to educate them, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we need to educate them.
Yeah.
What was your point?
Well, basically, I feel like I'm arguing what you were arguing before, which is that everybody has the ability to make a living, right?
Well, everyone does, but everyone
get a
essentially does. Yes.
Yeah.
But most people can't make that decision because they've been born in a poverty-stricken place.
so you need to get in there with the education, and that will make
Yeah.
the community strong.
Yeah.
Like they'll start.
Education
they'll
does
start
make
to
a community
involve
strong.
themselves in.
If a
productive-
community does not even engage with themselves, then what the hell is it, right? It's like essentially it's a jail in a way, but you have to have a properly funded community or a properly funded city to have a functioning community. Because if you don't have a functioning community, then people don't talk, and that becomes isolation. And when isolation happens, depression happens and violence happens and all that other bullshit. That's true.
Yeah, when people are poor, that all that stuff happens too, because
Yes.
that's stress. Being poor is stressful.
Yeah.
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 So basically, I was playing the devil's advocate there because that's not my perspective. There's always poor people, and I do believe that there needs to be a social safety net for them. There needs to be welfare, and they get it, I think, probably.
They
right?
do, but then they spend it on drugs.
Right.
And I
So-
mentioned this in
and
the
then
previous
for that
podcast,
reason,
rehabilitation.
They need education and rehabilitation. Yeah. There's this movie called Idiocracy.
Idiocracy.
and it's
Ooh.
about the future of the United States. And
Ooh, wow,
it is
really?
it is actually a lot like right now. Holy shit! Watch that movie Idiocracy with me. Let's go watch it. Popcorn?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm down.
Cool. Because Donald Trump is in it. He's the president.
That's how recent it is?
No, I'm kidding. But there's a guy he's actually a professional wrestler. Okay.
Wait, so they talk about the United States future? Is it on Netflix?
It's a movie about the
Is it
future of
on
the United
Netflix?
States. I don't think so, but
Shit.
it can be found.
We will find it.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's got a professional wrestler as the president of the United States. And
What?
Yeah, and he's just like a pure I don't know what you call him,
Trump.
but like
He's a pure
it's just all this, rhetoric that he uses to persuade people, like, and they yeah,
It's made in 2006?
Idiocracy. Yeah. It's a classic.
Oh, it's old.
But there's rehabilitation. If you do crime, like if you're a criminal, then you go to rehabilitation,
Oh,
right?
that's great.
Yeah, and rehabilitation is. Do you know what a monster truck show?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a monster truck show, but you basically, it's a monster truck show to the death. So they kill you by like shooting fire and like running over you with their monster trucks. Rehabilitation. Rehabilitation.
That's torture.
Well, yeah. That's what they do to their criminals in the future. It's Idiocracy. So the entire
Why can't they just see if you're a criminal,
yeah.
you scare society. You scare society.
Yeah.
You have a very a very dynamic way of living in a society. So what I'm saying and what I mean by that is when a person commits a crime, he goes to the prison. And when he's in a prison, he's isolated. He doesn't get to talk to anyone. But what I want people to know is that they get tortured so badly that it's your worst nightmare, even though they don't. However, the community now knows that, if you go or commit a crime, this is what the hell's going to happen to you. So you better stay away from that. Now you're probably wondering, what about people with shorter sentences? All that shit would get leaked out, right? Well, just keep them in prison forever. Okay.
Yeah.
Something like that. I mean, it could work.
Yeah, well, keeping someone alone actually is the worst torture possible.
It is. I've
Solitary
seen that.
confinement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's horrible. It kills you on the inside. I don't know what happens, but
It makes people go insane unless they are accomplished meditators.
yeah, then it's the most peaceful thing in the world.
Yeah. Yeah, but that movie Idiocracy, everyone in the future is stupid. Like, and that is because
They are the mainstream media followers.
yes, and they're also like the only ones that breed are the stupid people, and they breed a lot. And all of the intelligent people are like, oh, like the economy is not good right now. We're just gonna wait to have kids, and then it's like they find out that they're like she's infertile or something, and then they don't have kids. But all the stupid people are just having sex in the trailer parks, and they're just having babies, popping babies out all over the place. So only stupid people are left in the future.
Yeah, we see that with the First Nations community now.
Yeah.
It's very, very prominent, to be honest. Yeah. Not saying anything bad. I'm from Prince Rupert. I totally support them. I'm all for their education. I'm all for their betterment in society.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's very, very prominent in the First Nations community.
Yeah. It's a funny movie. It's prophetic. It's really like it is today.
Feels like Christmas today. I don't know why.
Does it?
Yeah. You want to end it here?
Thanks everybody for watching. It's been a
Heck of a podcast.
heck of a podcast. Good talk. And we're gonna release this one Wednesday 5 p.m. again, and then podcasts every week Wednesdays 5 p.m.
Thank you for watching, and thank you for having me, Kellan.
You're welcome.
It's been a I'd rather say enjoyable topic or topics.
Enjoyable. Yeah.
Yes.
Right on. So
Alright.
if you want to start a podcast, go into the description and click on the links, and you can see what equipment we're using on Amazon, and support us on Patreon if you want to get exclusive content and question and answer sessions with Ekam and I,
Yeah.
or whatever guest.
Yeah, of course. And as you guys might have seen at the beginning of the podcast, we have a sponsorship from Blue Lotus Art Gallery, and they are great guys, so check them out, and they have some really good art. They hooked us up, so
Great
yeah.
deals. Yeah.
Great deals. Check them out.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot.
Peace.